Alright guys, today we're going to do a very fun project. It is making an envelope and designing it. And Derpy is the best model for this activity. Okay, first you're going to take a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 is perfectly fine. Fold it in half and make sure that you crease it very well. Use your fingernails, crease it in the front and then crease it in the back. Okay, now you want to turn it to the side that opens, like a book, the pages, and then you fold it in just a little bit. I didn't use any measurement tool, but my folding is about 1/2 inch. So I do that to both of the papers. And then same method, I would crease it with my fingernails in the front and in the back. You gotta have a really good crease. Now at the bottom you want to do the exact same thing. Fold it up just a little bit, maybe just 1/2 inch. Check to make sure. It doesn't have to be perfect, but those two folding should be somewhat the same. Once again, creasing in the front and on the back with your fingernails. If you don't have one, ask somebody who has good fingernails. Okay, so the steps are folding on the side and folding to the bottom. Side fold, bottom fold, and then finally we're gonna have to do the top fold. And when you're doing the top fold, you have to make a decision to yourself. Are you making a mouth or are you making a hat? If you're making a hat, it is a small fold. If you're making a mouth, it is a bigger fold. So in this case, we are making an envelope with a Derpy design, Derpy the tiger from K-pop Demon Hunters. I am gonna give him a really big mouth. Okay, so let's compare the two. The left side is a mouth and the right side is a hat. So however you want to fold it, that would be your design. Okay, now it's the fun part. You're gonna open up the paper and the first step is to draw a Z. So remember, we're making this envelope from scratch, entirely from scratch. We're not using any template. We can make it ourselves. Why not? We're artists. Come on. So the Z. Up, sideways, and down. This part right here is the hat or the mouth, in which case it is a mouth. So I want to label it so I won't forget. And that one right there is the body. We're going to fold it over. There is a significance for that. So just write it down so we can remember. Alright, that side right there on the upper right hand corner, we don't need it. So we're going to draw it out and eventually we're going to cut it. So that's why it's there. And the bottom piece, we don't need that one either. The bottom box, draw it, put an X on it. We're gonna cut it out. Now we need to label other parts of the envelope, such as the flaps. So let's write that down. At the very bottom, it is the bottom flap. On the side is a side flap. Now in order to make the bottom a flap, you gotta cut out things that are not flaps. So that bottom left little rectangle right there, we don't need it. We're gonna cut that out too. So let's draw a line. So now what you had before, which was a Z on the left hand side, it looks kind of like a U, I guess. Now let's compare this to the envelope that has a hat instead of a mouth. See, same exact thing, just that the hat is shorter, everything else is exactly the same. Okay, so now it's time to cut the white parts out that we drew. Now you can use a scissor. It is not recommended to use a razor because you might cut your hands. If you are young and you don't know how to use this, you may use a razor if you're like in 11th or 12th grade, if you're old enough. Otherwise, please refrain from using the razor. Just use the scissor instead. It works just as well. Here we go. Now that we have our flaps, we can fold it up and see that it does work. Now this is entirely optional, but I don't like the left-hand side, the left-hand flap being too close to the edge. I feel that is a little bit too squeezed in for me, so I want to cut it a little bit to give it more room to breathe. Entirely optional. You don't have to do this part. I'm gonna put an arrow over here to indicate that you need to bring the body over to the flap and then glue it onto the flaps. So place the glue down and then smudge it with your finger so that it doesn't build a puddle. Then you bring the body over and then press it down to the glue. Bring the hat down and voila, you're done with your envelope. Let's check to see if you can open your envelope and that there's nothing sticking to each other. I think you're ready to design your envelope now. So let's go. I want to put Derpy into my design, so here are my references. The Derpy drawings that I have done before. I'm going to make him open up, his mouth opening up, and there will be an RSVP card inside of his mouth. Here I am just sketching out the tiger's face and slowly going and just, take my time with it. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I know that I want to have a mouth there. So make sure that when you're sketching it that you're going lightly. I'm using a charcoal white pencil. You can also use a white colored pencil as well, because then you'll be able to see through the blue. Now you don't have to use blue color, but the tiger is blue, so it's gonna save you some blue colors if you go with the skin tone of his or the fur tone, which is blue. Now you may skip over this and go to the end and see the final results, or you can just keep on having it play and see what I have done to it. Here I'm almost about done, and I am attacking the eye. And how I am doing that is I'm giving it a white base so that I can add my yellow on top of it. The yellow would pop out more if the base is a little bit more white. So it is harder, not necessarily impossible, but it's just my preference. I like to have the white there first and add the yellow, the orange, and the red. And guys, we are done here. Isn't Derpy just the cutest? I love this envelope. And I'm gonna design an RSVP card in there. If you decide to do this, please let me know. Comment below. If you like what I'm doing here and you want to see more, please like and subscribe and share this with your friends. Have a nice day.